Okay, so I have a Facebook page, and what I do is, quite regularly I post quotes on my Facebook page, and these quotes is not just because Nelson Mandela has got his own quotes and Mahatma Gandhi has got his own quotes, but these are what I really practice. These are my own words and what I really believe in and what I really practice. One of it is unleash yourself from your barriers. What we often think is, we often think this is all so much of challenges and hurdles outside. But most of the time, these challenges, barriers and hurdles are created by ourselves. And in many cases, women especially, we think we can't do that, we think we can't go up high up there, so we create our own barriers. So unleash yourself from the barriers surrounding you and your mind. It's always in the mind. And you will see that you go greater heights. Now this is another one. I spoke about English, and that's just one example. What we do in Malaysia, we start complaining about the system. I'm not saying we have a perfect system, but every country has got their weaknesses. So instead, we can go around and we can just keep saying that the system is not good, our education system is not good, or blah, blah, blah. But instead of doing that, if we can take charge and we make the change, we can make the difference. And when the success comes, the success belongs to you because it is by your own merit. You took charge and you are responsible for your success. So let us stop all this blaming game. We can try to make change, we should, but let us take charge. And when everything changes, the system will change by itself. There's no other choice. The system has to change. So often, I'm from Chinese school, that's why my English is very bad. I'm from Tamil school, I'm from Malay school. Oh, I'm not from Chinese school, so my maths is very bad. There's no such thing. And I don't believe in all these excuses. This is what I said. Every day, take a step out of your comfort zone. Just ask yourself, how big is your comfort zone? What's the radius of your comfort zone? Is it 1 kilometer? Is it a few thousand kilometers? You can throw me in Europe and I can survive in Europe. What is your comfort zone? So if every day, everyone has got limits, and if every day you just take one step out of your comfort zone, you are making your comfort zone bigger. And then, you will see that the opportunities and the possibilities are just endless. But to do this, you have to challenge yourself. I keep away from negative people, because they draw out the energy from me. And yes, I don't like to talk to negative people who keep complaining and who it's just waste of time. And it really draws the energy, the spirit. That you wake up in the morning, you want to do all these things, and then you see your colleague. Oh, you know what? Today, only Wednesday. I'm waiting for Friday, So I don't like to talk about negative things. I don't like to talk about negative people. And this is probably, all of us have basic science. We all know that opposite attracts, but this is not where opposite attracts. You will see positive people will never keep negative people in their radar. This is one place where opposites will never attract each other. Always those who are complaining, those who blame the system, you will see their friends are also like that. You can watch, you can observe this, and you will realize that I'm true. I have many enemies, and who are my enemies? And these are my true enemies. Procrastination. We always have got no time. You know what is the root of no time? The root of no time is procrastination. I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, the deadline in March, I'll do it next week. That is why you have no time. And this is another truth. So I don't like procrastination, negativity, mediocrity. That's an order of the day, isn't it, in Malaysia? Never mind, this is enough. No. I always tell my students, my staff, I don't want a Malaysian standard. I want an international standard. I want everything to be done at an international standard. So these are no to me. Procrastination, negativity, mediocrity, blame game, self-pity. I'm an Indian, and Indians in this country, we are all marginalized. Please don't tell me all these stories, and I don't believe a single thing. There are refugees who go to US with just $1 or even without $1, and their second generation children are all in the universities. And are you telling Indians can't make something in Malaysia? I can't take all these stories. Whining, again, whining and complaining, there's no time. And if you spend time with this is again where you don't have time to do good work, productive work. I never let a single day pass by without learning something new. Anything, it doesn't have to be biotechnology. I mean, my life would be so boring if all I do is just biotechnology. It can be anything, economy, politics, culture, someone's religion, someone's language, another word, another concept, anything. It could be anything, a new recipe. I tried something and it didn't work. Well, I know it will not work. Failure is a good lesson. So I will never let a day pass by without learning something new. Parenting, oh, I did something, I should have spoken like that to my daughter. Something, anything, but never let a day pass by without learning something new. Well, we always like to say that I'm an optimist. I like to be an optimist, but I would like to say that I'm more of a realist. I'm not a pessimist, I'm not an optimist, I'm a realist. I always have second plans. And if my first plan, which is the best option, does not work, the second plan will work. And in that way, whatever happens, it happens my way. I get my way. My biggest motivators, always, who are our biggest motivators? Our best well-wishers, right? Our parents, our teachers, our professors, our good friends. But one of my biggest motivators are also those who wanted me to fail. Those who did not want to see me grow. I had a number of people like that. There was once we were fighting to have good regulation in Malaysia for agriculture biotechnology, and I was still, no PhD. I was still someone with someone small in this area. And one officer from Ministry of Environment, he told me, "Wow, what are you trying to do with the ministry? You think we listen to you? Look at that NGO. They are speakers around the world. People invite them to speak around the world." And I just kept quiet and I left. And when I was nominated as this 100 most influential person, he was one of the first one to send a WhatsApp message, "Congratulations." There were a lot of people who did not want to see me, Marbik, grow. And today, they are coming, asking if I can work with them. So always remember, your biggest motivators are your people who do not want to see you grow. Keep them in your mind. Tell them that you're not going to make them happy. They don't want to be happy to see you success. So tell them you are not going to make them happy. And this is very important for women. I hope all the women in this room will have career, and you will keep your career, and you will keep your career growing. What happens to women especially is, I'm married, I have to take care of my 2 girls. Now tell me what's going to happen if I give up my career, my PhD for my 2 girls. And the reason why I give up my career and my PhD, because I want my girls to do very well. Fine. So I sacrifice everything, and then they will do well, because I'm a full-time housewife, Of course they have to do well. So if they do well, what are they going to do 20 years down the road? They're going to say, "Now, Ma, I'm going to stay back because I will take care of my children." And is that why I sacrificed my PhD and my career? So I tell my daughters, "Look, if you're going to do that, I'll never forgive you because of all the sacrifices I do today. I travel around the world. I still make sure there's food on the table. I still make sure you go to class on time. I still make sure you are doing well in exams. So never ever think about not having a career. Your husbands can be doing so well. Nothing is guaranteed. Today we see 35-year-old men collapsing in the office with heart attack. So we have to have career. It's not just financial independence, but it is also your identity. It is your identity. It's not enough to be called as Mrs. Someone. It's not enough to be called as I'm the husband, wife, I'm the daughter of someone. We have to have our own identity. We have to be the role model for our children. When your children see you going out to work, they will tell themselves that I want to be like this one day. So it's very, very important for women. The education and career for women is very important. If you look at any household, men, certainly they're responsible, they bring back the money. But when a woman is educated, the family will look different. And you can just see across any race, any family. This is the family will look different. The family's outlook, their direction, where they're going, everything will be different. This is one of my very favorite quotes, because this is what happened in my real life. You know, now a lot of you are students, you're looking for jobs, and when you get a job, there's always a big difference between jobs and career. When you look for a job, you get a job and you do that because you want salary end of the month. But what young people dream of is, I want to be like them. I want to have a nice office. I want to be like that. I want to be traveling around the world. That is a career. And always remember, no one gives you on a silver platter a career. Everyone offers you a job. I can offer you a job, you can come. But you are the one who shape up your job into a career. And that's what I did. I could have just said, okay, every month I get a salary, I just do a little bit here and there, I tell my boss, I report, and that's it. I could have done that, but I didn't want that. I wanted an identity for me in this area, in this space, in biotechnology. So what happened, I was given a job as a project officer, then I took up the executive director, it became my career, but I reshaped and redefined that career to be my dream career. And what is a dream career? It does not burn you out at the end of the day. It makes you look forward to going to work every day. It's your passion, it's your love. And it's not about just getting money end of the month, but it is about who are you? What can you contribute? The satisfaction. That is a dream career. And you're happy. It is yourself. I don't have to pretend to be someone else in my career. It's me. It's my expertise. People look for me because I'm good in something. That is a career. So for the young people, never think that one day I'll be a manager like her, one day I'll be a director like her, one day I'll be a businessman like him. No. You have to build that from scratch. And how your career shapes up, it's entirely up to you. Make use of your boss. Learn from your bosses. Learn from someone who's even lower than you. So that is what I did. So this is one of my very favorite quotes for young people. So the difference between motivation and inspiration. What's the difference? I know I've got an English lecturer here. It may not be English, but motivation is me telling you what to do. Okay, you must study very hard, you must look for a good job, you must work very hard. That is motivation. But inspiration is, I don't have to tell you anything. You look at your boss and you say, I want to be like her. I want to be like him. I want to speak like her. I want to be as confident as him. I want to contribute. I want to be recognized as him. That is inspiration. And the same thing goes to children as well. Instead of telling our children, do this, do that, study, read, watch this, watch that, if we do that, hey, I want to be like Amma. I want to be like Appa. I want to be like Mummy, like Daddy. So that is inspiration. So ask yourself, do you want to inspire someone? And if you want to inspire someone, then you must have that energy. People look at you and you must have that infectious energy, that infectious drive, that infectious fire. And it's not difficult. You have to build that. You have to have that. And what's the difference between a career and a job? I think I've already explained this. A job is something that you do, a given task, and the month you get paid for that. A career is your passion, your love, what you want to grow, where is it leading to? It's beyond the money. Why do you think doctors a lot of specialist doctors still work in the public sector? They can leave and work in the private sector, earn triple the money or even 5 times the money. Because it's the passion. I'm not saying private doctors are not doing a good job, but they all do we need. If you imagine if everyone works in the public sector and then I want to go to a better hospital, I can't go to a better hospital. Everyone is doing a good job, but why someone is compromising something? It's the passion, it's the love. And that's just an example. So a career is your identity. What am I seen as? I'm seen as a science communicator. I'm seen as a biotechnologist. So that is my career. And am I recognized in my field? That is my career. A job, I do it, yeah, my boss wants me to do, done, okay, fine, I'm going back, it's 5:30, that's a job. So ask yourself, do you want a career? Do you want a job? You get a job, do you want to change that into a career? What are you going to do? So, for those who always tell, I don't have time, I know a lot of students don't read newspapers. When I ask, we have got no time, we have got so much of assignments and projects. So if anyone wants to tell me, I've got no time, this is what I do. And this is just some of the things that I do. Of course, my full-time job is I'm Executive Director for Malaysian Biotechnology Information Center. And the newspaper you're holding was founded by me because I realized that science is not in everyday newspaper. And I think it's so important to inspire people in science, to get young people get going in, taking up careers in science, to let people know what's happening in our research institutes, universities. So I started the newspaper, so I'm editor-in-chief for the newspaper. It's another full-time job that we do. It's published by Mabik. I'm an adjunct lecturer at Monash University. I sit in a number of industry advisory panel in Monash University, Taylor's, Nilai, and recently Quest University. I'm a trainer. Most of my weekends, a lot of my weekends, I go with Biotech Corp and Industry Cluster of Excellence. It's ICOE with Ministry of Higher Education. I'm a trainer for these two agencies, and I go to universities to talk to students about career opportunities, about biotechnology, about industry perspectives. I get invitation to go around the world as speaker to conferences. I participate in workshop, conferences, policies, regulations, science, communication. I sit on bioethics committee in Taylor's University, and recently the Minister of Science appointed me as a member in the National Bioethics Council. And now I'm increasingly being invited to give motivational talks by a lot of community organizations. This Saturday, I'm going to be in Malacca to talk to Tamil School headmasters. It's a headmasters council for Negeri Sembilan. So I'm going to be talking to Tamil School headmasters about the importance of English and what is expected by the world outside in the industry. So this is what I do. And I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm a daughter. I'm a daughter-in-law. So these are the things that I do. I have friends. We go out, and convent girls, how noisy we can be. So these are the things that I do. I might have missed out something. So if someone comes and tells me that I don't have time, I like cooking, I like baking. You think I can accept that? Think about it. So never say, in my house I've got two rules. One is you can't say I'm tired before 10 o'clock at night. Number two, you can't say I've got no time. So these two rules, and my daughters will never use this. So you wake up at 6, until 10, you should not feel tired. How can you feel tired before 10? 10, even 10 is acceptable. Some people go to bed even later. So no, I don't feel tired before 10. I work, my laptop is always on. My daughters go to tuition, and then my laptop is on. I start writing something. Then I close it for a while. But I enjoy it. It just seamlessly goes into my life. So think about next time when you say I don't have time, think about it. Okay. So this, I think I've said this. You are in the right career. Ask yourself, how is your job developing into a career? You are in the right career if your work is a natural expression of your personality and talent. I can't ask someone who's an introvert to be a PR executive. So ask yourself, is your job that you're applying, that you're in, the career you're in, is it your natural talent? Just like how I didn't want to be a scientist, so you can't force me to be a scientist in the lab. You look forward to going to work every day. And I can tell you all this, I can put a tick. So ask yourself, how many of you can put a tick for all these things? You're proud of what you do, and you enjoy telling people about it. You enjoy talking to people about what you do and your job and your career. You are highly respected at your work because you are so good at what you do. You don't have to pretend to be someone else at work. I don't have to pretend to be like a businessman. I don't have to pretend to be like another someone else. It's me. This is me. This is what I do. And I'm so proud of it. Your own best and most natural forms of creative expression is what you're paid off. Are you paid for what you're really good at? Or are you just coming in, just doing, again it becomes a job. So your job must be what you're really good at. But again, remember, it didn't happen naturally. I told you at least a little bit of how I developed my career. It was tough. Your job rewards your most important values and allows you to fulfill your goals. What are your goals? Does your job allows you to fulfill your goals? It's natural. Everyone must have your goal. Does your job allows you? I wanted to be identified in my career. Did my organization allow it? Yes, it did. So it should. And if you're good and if your organization really wants you, it will allow you. So don't, again, we can't blame anyone. If you're good at it and if your contribution is really needed, your organization, your boss will never say that we don't need you to do this. And not only your career goals, but also your other goals. I want to get married. I want to have children. Does my job allow that? It should. I like traveling. Does my job allow that? I want to practice my religion. Is there a barrier for my religion? So does it also allow that? Your other goals. And a day job leaves you energized. When you go home, you must still feel I can bake a cake. I do that. So a day on the job leaves you feeling energized and not burnt out because I've been enjoying myself. I don't feel tired. So can you develop that type of career? Yes, you can, because I'm a living example. And I think I've mentioned this, women empowerment especially. I'm so passionate about this. I'm not a feminist. I'm not for gender equality because I believe everyone is made, we are made differently. We are supposed to be complementing each other. But I believe women should have dreams. I believe women must have education, career, self-identity, dreams, time management. I hear a lot of my housewife friends telling me I don't have time and I don't understand. Especially housewives comes and tell me, oh Maha, I wanted to call you but I didn't have time. I wanted to call you the other day, I wanted to drop by, I didn't have time. Usually those people who don't have time are the ones with the least amount of job. My boss always tells me, if you want something to be done, give it to the busiest person. So it always ends up with me. And you have to be a role model. Woman, a role model to your family, to your children, to the community. You have to be the role model. So I think that is the end of my first part. If you want to listen to the second part, which is more on biotechnology, not science, not abstract and conclusion and discussion, I can go on, but I would like to open the floor for questions or discussion.